Good morning. Welcome to Morning Sun Homestead. Today we're going to make pizza sauce. We plant 3 different varieties of tomatoes, but today we're going to be working with, it's an Amish paste tomato. It's called sausage. It has stripes in it. It makes a real robust sauce that's very thick. So we plant quite a few of those. And then the other tomato that we're going to be working with today is just Amish paste. They're a smaller variety, but they also make a thicker sauce. So anytime that you want to make pizza sauce, spaghetti sauce, salsa, anything that's sauce-wise other than just a juice, you want to make sure that you use aroma type tomato because it makes a thicker sauce. So we're going to begin by washing our tomatoes. This is a 10-pound recipe, so we have 2 5-gallon buckets. We are going to have to make quite a few turns, but that's okay. For one batch of pizza sauce, we need 10 pounds of tomatoes. So we're going to have to weigh this. So I have a scale, and it needs to be set at 0. And then we can just put our tomatoes on there. I usually do 1 pound at a time. That's just because it's easier for me, and I don't have to worry about them falling off the scale. And so there's our first pound. And then we just put them over here in a bowl until we get 10 pounds. And I make tally marks as I'm doing this so I can keep up because my mind's not that good to do that. So I'll make tally marks. And yes, you're going to have some, like this has some green that's going to have to come off. And this one's a little bit rotten in places that will have to be cut off. But just go ahead and use that as a pound. That will be taken care of as we get through. So, nope. That's a little more than a pound. Okay, so there we have another pound. So we have 2. So that quickly racks up to be 10 pounds.
So we are cutting the tomatoes to be ready to go into the ricer. You can cut them in half or 4s, but 4s, the ricer takes it a little better, so it's easier for the ricer to take.
So once the tomatoes are sliced, this is called a sauce maker food strainer. And if I had to pick 5 things from my kitchen, this would definitely be one of them that I would keep. You can do grapes through this according to the strainer that's here, but we're going to do the tomatoes today. So just as an example of how it works, you drop it in the hopper and you have to turn, and you have a stomper. So you can see what it's like. And you can see how the juice is rolling out and how thick the juice is. Now all the off fillings will come out here in the back. And you don't want to throw that away because we're going to do something with that as well. That will be a different video, but we can do something with that too. So we try to use everything that we can. So you just fill the hopper, turn the handle, and you get this magnificent sauce that comes out. We are now getting ready to chop the garlic and onions that we've harvested for the garden that's going to go into this pizza sauce. It calls for 3 cups of onions to every 10 pounds of tomatoes and 4 cloves of garlic for every 10 pounds. So ours isn't going to be quite that much just because our onions are very hot and we don't want that hot taste in our pizza sauce. We have all of our tomatoes riced and we've put all the juice in here. As you can see, it's already pretty thick. We've ground up our onions, and here's our garlic. That's all in there. For the seasonings, we had to have olive oil, and I will put the recipe below, so that way you'll have everything. We had to have basil, oregano, Italian seasoning, salt, red pepper, black pepper, and sugar. So this is all mixed up in here with the olive oil. That's why it kind of looks like it's clumpy. We'll put all this in. And then we start real good. You can cook this down on a stove. You do not have to use the cooker that I'm using. I just do that because it's more convenient because I always need my stove top. And this will take up a whole side when it's cooking. Because they recommend 2 hours. Sometimes it doesn't have to cook for 2 hours. Sometimes it's more than 2 hours. It just all depends on the sauce of the tomatoes. The first batch that we did they were thick, but the second batch was a little more watery, so it's going to have to probably cook for more than 2 hours today. So we'll just come back, we'll occasionally stir it, and then when we get ready to jar it, we'll show you those steps. It's the end of the day and our pizza sauce has cooked down most of the day. You can see that was the line it started with, and that's how much waters came out. To me, it's thick enough. Some people may want to cook it down more. It'd be entirely your own decision. But we're getting ready to bottle this. Pint jars. And they've already been sterilized. So I'm going to fill them, and then we'll put lids and rings on them and get them in a hot water bath. They have to be processed for 35 minutes.
So before you put them in the hot water bath, which will be for 35 minutes, you got to wipe off the ring. Put a simmered lid onto this ring and put it on the jar. Hand tighten it. And then it's ready for the water bath, which will be for 35 minutes.
Alright, we have them all lid and ringed, so we're going to start setting them in here. Whenever you can at all in a hot water bath or a canner, you need a plate for the bottom of your canner, so there's an air space so the jars do not crack. If you do not have that, you can always use a ring and put it at the bottom of the jar, and that still gives it a space so it doesn't crack. So we're going to put these in here. We've got quite a few. I did not count how many. And when you do a hot water bath, the water has to come up over the top of the jar. I don't think one will squeeze in there. It won't. So as you can see, we're up over the top of the jar. Not much, just enough to cover them. We'll turn this on. We have to bring it to a rolling boil, and then that is from the rolling boil time, 35 minutes. We'll turn it off, take them out, and we'll have our pizza sauce. Here's our finished product of the pizza sauce. It's good and thick. It's very nice. We will use this to dip breadsticks in, and then of course on our homemade pizzas. We hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, we'd like for you to leave a comment, click the like button, and also subscribe to our channel. We have a whole lot more videos coming out that will explain different recipes, and we are going to be posting a video very shortly of how to make cucumber relish. Thanks for watching.